So this is Nugget, and he is a tiny little juvenile crested gecko. How adorable is he? He, she, I'm not too sure. He's unsexed at the moment. But I've never owned a crestie before, and I'm totally in love. And I have built him a lovely, I am so proud of this. I've built him a bioactive setup enclosure. Personally, I just think it looks absolutely fantastic, and he adores it. Sorry, I've got really shaky hands, so I'll try and keep them steady for you. But yeah, this is Nugget. Look at the lovely markings on him. This is the first time you've been on camera, isn't it, for you two? For those of you who are new here, hi, my name's Amy. Welcome. Welcome to the gang, Amy's Planet Gang, whatever you want to call it. If you want to become part of the family and everything, just click that subscribe button, leave some comments. We'll have a little chat in the comment section. And here, what you'll find from me is videos about my pets, and I do like basic care guides and also enclosure tours. So like today now, I've built this bioactive enclosure, and I'm going to show you how you can make one too. So stay tuned for some lovely crested gecko footage and a beautiful little vivarium. But guys, I've got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed. I recently checked my analytics and 80% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. That means that whenever I'm going to be putting out a new video, you're never going to know. You're just never going to know. If you subscribe, you won't be missing any of my content, and there's going to be plenty of that coming. Crested geckos, leopard geckos, giant African land snails, my mantids. I got plenty of stuff up on them, and there's going to be so much more to come. So yeah, definitely subscribe, but make sure them notifications are turned on to all, because then that will alarm to you when my newest video is coming out. Also, you can head over to my Instagram, because I'm a lot more active there. There's a lot more content on there. I'm a lot more active, and I can interact with you better on there. So yeah, definitely head over to that. I'll link down in below all my different social media and stuff, so you can head on over at your own leisure. So enough of my rambling, let's just crack on with the video. First of all, I'll just list everything that I using in this video. So I bought the Exotera Small, which is 45 centimeters in height by 30 by 30. This will be again upgraded obviously when little Nugget here gets a little bit bigger, but right now this is the perfect size to be starting off with your juvenile crested gecko. As you can see, he's quite small. UVB, in the way of UVB, I do provide UVB with my animals. There's a very, very interesting debate on UVB though with crested geckos, and I am going to be delving into that as soon as I've got some spare time. So yeah, right now I am going to be using UVB, and I'm using Arcadia Shade Dweller, which is fantastic. I absolutely love this little contraption, little kit there for my leopard gecko as well, and it's great because you can link multiple different lights up. So I'm going to be using a Jungle Dawn. Now the reason I'm going to be using this at some point is because it's obviously going to be planted, and these sorts of live plants and everything, they do need special lights. So a Jungle Dawn is going to be perfect. And like I said, the Arcadia Shade Dweller is brilliant because you can link multiple lights up to it. As long as it's an Arcadia one with the same connectors and everything, I can have both the Shade Dweller and the Jungle Dawn both linked up together. He's going to jump. You're not jumping down there or you're going to die. No broken limbs. I also use the Arcadia Earth Arid mix. Yeah, if you're going to get a juvenile crested gecko, please be prepared for plenty of jumping. So the Earth Arid I'm using for the substrate. You best stay there. I'm also using Hydro Balls, so I'm going to be using these. If you want me to go into depth in another video as to why we're using certain things within this structure and this bioactive setup, please let me know down below, and I can do a very in-depth information. I can delve into like the microbiology associated with it all. Obviously, I come from a background in microbiology, so I would love to go into that. So let me know if that would be of interest to you. But for this video, we're just going to focus on what I actually did. So yeah, Hydro Balls, and I bought them from Swell. That's Swell own brand, and the same as this matting that I'm using, I've also used that from the Swell own brand. Heat will be in the form of a heat mat. However, I have recently found, he's going to try and death jump again. No. I've recently found that I'm sitting him on top of my leopard gecko enclosure, and she's actually got a deep heat projector, and the heat that's rising up from that, and combined with the temperature of my house, is quite, you know, it's on the border of being, if anything, a little bit too hot. So I'm not going to actually go with, don't do it. I'm not actually going to go with the heat mat yet, but if you are going to use one, just cup straight on my butt. Great. But yeah, if you are going to be using any sort of heat source, make sure it is coupled up to a thermostat. I'm going to be using an array of plants, and I'm also going to be using some cork bark, some wood that I've bought, like aquarium wood, and I know that's reptile safe. So first I'm going to be putting in the drainage layer. For this I'll be using the swell hydro balls. These will be laid around about 1 or 2 inches in depth. So the purpose for this drainage layer is to prevent your substrate from becoming too saturated, so that your plants don't start rotting and the water's starting to pool in the enclosure, causing water to stagnate basically. This can also cause a buildup of anaerobic bacteria, etc., mould, that could impact the plants as well as your gecko. So the clay balls that I'm using, they allow water to drain into the bottom of the enclosure and they hold water as they expand. This will also help with humidity levels. Some people will use like a false bottom in their bioactive enclosure. This is also fine, but these clay balls are absolutely fab for an increased surfaced area. You know, a circle gives an increased surface area and allows for microfauna and bacteria to grow, which is exactly what you want in this sort of ecosystem that you're setting up. And it also kind of acts as a filtration. So I can go over all the details of the in-depth stuff that goes with a bioactive enclosure. So if you're interested in that, I'll definitely leave a comment down below and I can get straight on to doing that for you. Next, I'm adding the matting. So you want to make sure that it covers all of the bottom, so it doesn't allow for any of the top substrate to mix with the hydro balls. This matting has large enough holes for the water to drain through and for the roots to soak up the water from the plants inside, so they can get the water from the drainage level, but it also stops the substrate from mixing in with it. So this is also important because you don't want a buildup of anaerobic bacteria and any stagnant water. Next, I'm going to be adding substrate. I'll be using Earth Arid from Arcadia, and this is what I will be planting my plants into. First, I'm going to be removing the soil the plants are potted into, ready for planting. As I don't know what's in that soil, I'd rather not use it within my enclosure just to be on the safe side. Next, I'm adding the substrate to around 2 to 3 inches, piling it up more towards the back just to add a little bit more depth and a natural look once it's planted. So now I'll be adding my wood and my cork bark. I've got some pieces that I'm just going to have a little fiddle around with until I get the look right that I'm going for. Now I'm just going to go ahead and plant again until I think it looks nice, and providing suitable hiding places for my cresty. As they're an arboreal species, they do tend to dwell higher up in like a forest canopy type thing, so you're going to be wanting plenty of foliage at the top of your enclosure, and you also want enough coverage there because you don't want too much of that UVB going into the enclosure. Now, this is all kind of pertaining to what I said about this massive argument. Well, it's not a massive argument, it's just very interesting argument as to whether UVB should be used within a bioactive or any kind of cresty enclosure. Now, obviously they're going to be exposed to it out in the wild. We all know that, so it is going to be of some benefit to them. So especially when it comes to females and where they're egg laying and everything. Now, UVB is a massive part within the D3 and the calcium cycle and everything. I can go into that in another video as well if you like, but basically there's a big argument around using UVB. So I'm still on the fence with it, so what I'm doing is making sure that there's quite a bit of coverage up the top, just so that there's not too much of that UVB going in, because at the end of the day you're creating like a micro environment. They're from the wild, they have plenty of space to get away and everything. This isn't a concentrated area that we're keeping these animals, so I want to make sure that I'm trying to do it as right as I can. There's access to UVB there in certain areas, but in other areas there's plenty of shade. I'm also going to be adding sphagnum moss to the lower levels, just so that it provides extra humidity and provide a nice living area for the isopods that I'll be adding in at some point. Alright, so let's have a look at this setup. I've since added a UVB light and a hygrometer and a thermometer just to measure temperature and humidity levels, along with Nugget's little feeding ledge that is absolutely adorable. So let's see how Nugget likes his new enclosure. he's got like shade and everything under there to hide from the UVB. Which is why I wanted to structure it the way that I did. And then you can come out into the light. Hey, good boy, Nugget. Good boy. So it does look like this enclosure has got 5 stars from Nugget. He absolutely loves it. I can hear him in the night jumping about and everything. He really does enjoy it. And I enjoy it as well. It looks so nice having a bioactive setup. It's really aesthetically pleasing, and you know that you're giving your animal a lot of enrichment with a planted enclosure. He's got behind. What are you doing, little Nug Nug? So if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content from me, Nugget and Sapphire, then definitely consider subscribing, become part of Amy's Planet family. So yeah, definitely consider subscribing, becoming part of the family, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of my bioactive setup, and if you want any more information on a bioactive setup, then just let me know in the comments below. I also have some merch now that I've designed. I've got it in my other videos. I'm gonna have some Crested merch soon as well. I just need to find time to sit down and draw, but I'm finding it really therapeutic. Anyone who knows me on Instagram or anything knows that I've had a really rough deal lately with anaphylaxis and PTSD, and drawing is really helping, as well as these YouTube videos. So take a look at my merch, let me know what you think at least, and I will see you all soon. Thanks very much for watching. Say bye, Nugs. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Oh, it's my ear. Oh, Nugget, where are you? I don't want to sit on you. Oh, he's crazy. You are absolutely crazy, my boy.